No, these people are here, and we're holding up their phones because they are taking pictures of our very special guest this evening, Ezekiel Elliott. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having
Appreciate it very much, you being here. That's another applause line. When I say his name, then you applaud. Wow. Now, I know that I don't believe any of you people were on the plane with us last night, so you should have been a little bit more alert than when we got home. So this is our regular Monday night stop, 6 o'clock local time here at the Omni Frisco, and we are delighted to welcome a very large crowd of picture takers out here to see one of their favorites, to see Ezekiel Elliott. We are delighted to have all of you listening wherever you're listening on the Dallas Cowboys radio network. And the little boxes there, the little black boxes, are for people who are watching us streamed on DallasCowboys.com. So there you go. Now, Taylor Stern was going to, in your honor.
He saw him.
She had nose rings that she put in, and then she took them out. And I thought maybe Zeke, who's got one of the great smiles of all time, and is displaying it even now. Were you intimidated by Zeke sitting there, and then you chickened out on the nose rings, or what's up?
Well, I mean, to really do the bull ring, nose ring, like Ezekiel, you have to really pierce your nose, and I could not commit to that cause. But, I mean, is it the bling that throws you off?
Yeah, it's a little much.
It's a little much.
Thank you.
It's a little much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, but yours is not. You have 3. He's shrugging his shoulders.
He's Zeke.
For anyone listening on the radio.
He's Zeke.
It's a vibe.
The last thing
I think it's the bling.
It's a bling?
It's the bling.
It's the bling.
The bling.
But why'd you get 3 then?
Because I wanted to.
Yeah, you can do that when you're Ezekiel Elliott.
That's exactly right, because he can.
Yeah.
The last thing Zeke did before he came over here was get a massage. I would imagine that as much activity as you had yesterday and as physical as that game was, that you probably needed 2 massages or maybe 3. But how do you feel after a game like that physically? When does your body start liking you back? Wednesday?
Next Sunday?
Yeah? Yeah.
Probably like Friday. But I mean, we're not even 24 hours from the game, so I'm very sore right now. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine. I mean, you and Dak both took pretty good beatings, and you were involved in a lot of that. So there's a 24-hour rule, but we always, when the game didn't go the way we wanted it to, we always pay a little bit of attention to the game, then we move on and do something else. So can you pinpoint? I think the only trend that I can see, I think this is right, is that you haven't scored a first half touchdown in either any of the last 3 games. When you kind of look back at I know they're each independent of each other, but is there anything that comes to your mind about why that might be that you're not starting as fast in games as you want to? As a team, not you, as a team.
It's pretty simple, just poor execution. We're coming out early, and we're not starting fast. We're not executing. We're not playing our football, and we're getting behind and get caught playing a little bit of catch-up.
So the next question then for me becomes, how do you walk the line, again as a team, not you individually, how do you walk the line between sense of urgency and trying to do too much, trying to hit a 6-run homer?
I mean, you can't try to do too much. You just gotta go out there and play better football. There's no other way to put it. It's pretty simple. I mean, we have a very talented team from top to bottom, and so I mean, if we go out there and play great football, then we should be in a good situation.
And you did have a great game yesterday. It was the first time that it was in a loss when you had 150 yards from scrimmage. But did you adjust your game plan at all with Tyron and Lyle being out, or do you just run? When you see a hole, you just run?
No, we don't really adjust the game plan. I don't adjust the game at all when they're not playing. I mean, we got guys out. We got the next man up mentality. I'm sure you've heard it before, and we expect
yes.
Everyone to go out there and execute and play at a high level. And I mean, I think those guys did a really good job last night.
Yeah. Brandon Knight.
Yeah.
That first drive in the second half, you got the ball like 7 times. I think it was like 7 carries. I was like, he's got to be tired right now. I mean, they're giving it to him. Was that something at halftime? He's like, hey, we're going to come out and we're going to run it on him no matter what. And I don't know, how do you get prepared for that? Because you had to have been gassed. They gave you the ball. It felt like 7 to 10 times in that first drive.
I mean, yeah. I think it was kind of the game kind of got into a flow of things, and we were gassing them a little bit, and we're having some success. So I mean, I was a little bit tired though.
But I think it's a great point because the adrenaline at some point takes over, especially when you're having a little success, right? And you can kind of have more energy than it feels like you have until at some point when your body says, we're good, let's take a little rest. Does that happen? Does the adrenaline carry you sometimes?
I mean, honestly, for me, it's just like I play as long as I can play hard, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So if I feel like I'm not going to be able to go 100% on this next rep, then I'm going to take 1 or 2 off. I got to have a great backup, and Tony Pollard, he's been having a phenomenal season, been running the ball really well. So I go as hard as I can for as long as I can. Then I take a couple plays off and then right back to it.
I mean, you legitimately take a bigger beating than almost any other player in the NFL because you're always top of the league. I think you're 5th in touches already this year through 6 games, and then your first 3 years, you're one of the leaders. So I don't know. I think we have no idea the perspective of how you would feel on a Monday morning just because you get hit literally more than anyone else, it seems.
Yes, on a scale of 1 to 10, what does it feel like?
How do I feel right now?
Yeah.
1 being
1 being like, oh, I could go just like jog around and do a couple workouts, or 10 being like, I am sore, I'm beat.
probably about 8.5.
So is it bumps and bruises, or is it like just general soreness from just going hard all game long?
A lot of bumps and bruises, cuts, turf burns, just a bunch of different things.
Do you feel like you're getting older? I mean, you're a young guy. You came into this league, you were like the youngest guy in the league, but do you feel like you're like, man, this hurts a little bit more than it did at Ohio State?
No, I think I'm still young.
You are young.
Got a lot of tread on the tires, so I mean, I don't think I'm wearing down at all.
Yeah, you're staying here forever, so,
Right.
So you got a little pass thrown to you at the end of the game where you have to go downfield and drew the pass interference. It's good to see more of that. You like doing that, right?
Yeah,
Like going down the field to catch routes?
Any way I can get the ball makes me happy, so I mean, it doesn't matter what it is.
I remember watching you in training camp as a rookie, and it was apparent that you had real comfort in running routes and playing as a receiver in the passing. Sometimes when people talk about a back functioning in the passing game, they're talking about blocking, which is also something you do exceptionally well. But you just seem to have a kind of a feel for running routes and getting out in the passing game, and not just for checkdowns. Is that natural, or have you had to work at that?
I think it's a little bit of both. I played a little bit of receiver in high school, but I mean, since then, probably I haven't really focused on the receiving part of my game. Like running routes, like from a receiver standpoint, until like maybe last off season. So the past couple of years, just kind of learning and developing in the pro route tree.
What was there ever a time in high school that you thought, maybe I'm a receiver, maybe I'd like to be a receiver more than being a running back?
I wouldn't say that. I was kind of a guy that did both, so I was like one of those hybrid guys. I was a little bit smaller. I was like 190 in high school, so I didn't know exactly what I was going to be. But, I mean, I just like to be out there playing ball, honestly. So I'm a football player, no matter where it's at.
Would you play 2 ways if they'd let you?
Oh, I played 2 ways all high school.
I know, I'm talking about now.
Now? No, I mean, that's a lot of ball.
Okay. All right,
He's 8.5 today. That would make him a 10.
No, I just wanted to, I just wanted to know where the boundary was. I just wanted to know where the line was.
What'd they recruit you as going into college? What'd you get more recruiting offers as?
Running back.
Running back over wide receiver?
You said a little bit of wide receiver.
I was more corner. I got recruited as a cornerback and running back
Really?
for college, yeah.
But you said a little bit of wide receiver, and you're one of the
No,
hybrids.
I didn't get recruited as a wide receiver.
No, but like in high
I played
school.
wide receiver, a little wide receiver in college.
Yeah, so
high
like, did you
school.
they start you at running back and then?
No, I'd be like lined up out there.
Okay, so is it just kind of you did both, or I mean, did the other running back how's that work out? Like, did the other running back?
The game plan was get Zeke the ball,
Yeah.
no matter which way.
Does it move him around?
So
Feed Zeke. It happened in high school too.
Yeah, did he have like 50 touchdowns one of your years in high school?
yeah, my senior year, I had 50
50
touchdowns.
touchdowns. Someone was upset because they said you didn't do the feed me yesterday on the first down.
I mean, we were kind of getting whooped on a little bit, and
You weren't feeling it.
just trying to get in the game.
Just trying to focus.
Do you remember the first time you did that ever in your life?
Yeah,
When was it?
college.
People loved it.
Which year?
It was a thing. It's like a Ohio State thing. Carlos Hyde ran back before me did it, and then
Oh, he did?
yeah. So then I did. Yeah.
Now, when you see a number of guys doing it around the league right now, do you say that's my move, or do you take that as flattery?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's their own thing. I don't think it has anything to do with me.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
A lot of people think of you when they see guys doing that. They think it's your move.
Well, that's a good thing.
Because he gets more touches than anyone else.
Absolutely a good thing. All right, we're going to take a break, and we've got a lot more coming up with Ezekiel Elliott. We're delighted to have him with us and delighted to have all of you joining us later in the show. Stephen will have a microphone move around, among you, and we'll get your questions for Zeke. This is the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour at Omni Frisco, supported by Albertsons and brought to you in part by Omni. Next time you travel for an away game, here's how to make the most of it. Stay with Omni Hotels and Resorts. They have 60 premier locations coast to coast with things like world-class spas, championship golf, and great dining. Visit OmniHotels.com to learn more. Omni Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Lucchese. Lucchese Bootmakers now open at the Star in Frisco, so you can shop from a variety of world-class handmade cowboy boots, as well as all-new signature apparel and accessories. Visit their brand-new store today and experience the tradition that is
Lucchese Bootmaker.
We'll be right back with Ezekiel Elliott on the Cowboys Hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Back to the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and broadcasting live from the Omni Frisco at the Star.
Snap to Prescott. Read option, handoff. Elliott puts his head down, bulls forward, crosses the plane. Touchdown, Cowboys. Game is back on. There's been a lot of that. There's been a little bit of that, and much more to come. Would you rather run over a guy or make a move in the open field and make him fall down and look silly when you run away?
I run him over.
Have you always been that way?
Yeah.
You know, there's an interesting thing that there are. Herschel Walker's the guy that comes to mind, was a phenomenal athlete, maybe a better athlete than a football player. You appear to have, not you don't appear to, you have football instincts as well. Herschel was a heat-seeking missile. Herschel would avoid open space if there was a way he could make contact with a guy and run him over. You seem to enjoy running a guy over, but also look for a way to make him miss so you can run. Is that something that you worked on, or did that always just come to you naturally?
Definitely something I worked on. Just when you look at yourself as a player, you want to try to eliminate all your weaknesses. So, I mean, you don't want to be a guy that's going to be like, all right, when I get this guy in open field, he's just going to try to run me over. I know that. You want, when a guy's thinking about tackling you, you want him to sit there and think like, oh, like, what's about to happen? Is he going to juke me? Is he going to hurdle me? Is he going to fly over me? I don't know.
I like that you said, is he going to hurdle me? Because you've had some of the best posterizing hurdles I've ever seen in the NFL. When you hurdle someone, like, and I'm sure your adrenaline's rushing so much, but what do you think when you complete that hurdle, it's a clean hurdle and they're in the dust?
Get back on the ground and don't get destroyed by someone else.
Stick the landing.
When is that instinctive? Do you ever in a run, I love talking to great runners in this sport about the things they see as the play is unfolding, because so much of it, other backs have told me that you react. You see colors, you see space, and you just react. When you hurdle, is there a point in the run that you say, I'm going over you, or does it just happen? Do your instincts just say, let's go up?
I think it just depends. My first time hurdling, I definitely made up in my mind. But I think as time went, like, it came more of a reaction.
Yeah. Now, I got to ask you about Kellen Moore. First year as the offensive coordinator, when you first started here, he was just a backup guy who went to IR. What do you think about it so far? You like what you're seeing from Kellen Moore?
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing from Kellen. He's a really smart dude, and he's played in this offense, and he knows a lot of these guys that's on the roster. And I think he really has a good grasp on ball, and he's really smart and a good coach.
Has he talked to you about how he wants to use you more? I know it's always use Zeke, feed Zeke. Has he talked to you about that and how that fits into his game plan?
I don't think we really have to talk about it much. I think it's kind of an understanding. And,
Tony Pollard. Just kidding. People want to see Tony and Zeke together.
Yeah.
They're ready to see that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to happen. It happens in practice, right?
We have some stuff. We have some different plays where we're both on the field at the same time with some packages, and sooner or later you guys will get to see them. Yeah,
we're just early in the second quarter of the year. Everybody needs to relax and tap the brakes. We got a lot of football yet to be played.
Zeke made it so that they would be 20 and 21 because that's a double-headed monster in the backfield. That's what Tony said. He wanted his number.
He was asking me what number he should, because he didn't like the first number.
He didn't like 36?
He didn't like 36. I didn't really like 36 either. But he was asking me which one he should pick. I don't know. I kind of like 28 too, though.
28 solid.
28's good. Weren't you one at Ohio State? Were you number one at Ohio State?
15.
Oh, 15, okay. Okay, did you like that?
They kind of just were like, hey, you could be 15 or 29, so you pick. I mean, I grew to like 15, but at first I wasn't like, oh, yeah, I get to wear 15.
There
Sweet.
are so many 15 Ohio State jerseys that have been sold.
What number field, what kind of number field, I mean, 21 now does, I know, but what kind of number, I'm fascinated by when guys say, no, I didn't want that number, I didn't look right in that number didn't feel right. What kind of numbers feel good?
I was always single digit my whole life, so I was always number 2 growing up. So going to college, switching to 15 was a little bit different. And definitely to a 20-something was a little bit different for me.
You know, you were talking about, like, you try not to have, like, any weaknesses. And I'm not a scout by any means, but I do cover the draft. And, like, I remember watching your college tape, and it was all said and done. I was going, okay, this is the best running back I've ever watched in my life. Just because there wasn't a pass protection. You at Ohio State sometimes would be a lead blocker, it felt like, on some of those quarterback keeper plays. Like, you could do it all. Catch, shifty, power. You're literally the most complete running back I've ever seen. But do you still think that you have weaknesses? Or, I mean, I know the players like to always work on something, but, you know, do you still have any, or do you have any type of weakness? Because you didn't have it coming out of college, it didn't seem like.
I don't know if I'll call it a weakness, but there's definitely things I can get better at. There's always something you can get better at. There's always some area that you can get better.
Well, you said that a few minutes ago, that you watch the tape and you try to see what you can get better at. Are there 3 or 4 things that you look at the tape and you say, okay, I'm working on this. Now I still need to be better at fill in the blank?
I would say for me, right now, just my biggest thing that's probably been my thing the past 2 years, just trying to hit those long runs. Last night I had an opportunity, one of my runs early to, go the distance, and could have done a couple things a little bit differently and maybe got a different outcome. So it's just like something for me just that I've been really focusing on, is just my second level running, and just when I get those opportunities to take it the distance, to make sure I don't hesitate, because that's how you miss those opportunities.
Is that a matter of what you show the linebackers in the secondary when you make an initial cut, or decide which hole to take it into regardless of where you know you're going to take it?
I think it's just a matter of just like, when you think you got a chance to break it, just break it. Just run, just go. Because if you hesitate, it's going to be too late.
But how do you practice that? That seems like a difficult thing to simulate in the week.
In practice, you just got to finish past the last defender. That's just the only way you could do it. It's a little tiring, but,
And I think it's like you watch it on TV, and you can, like, maybe see the feel, like, in the moment. I don't even know how you guys decide to make cuts. Like the play you were talking about. Were you talking about a play where Travis was in front of you and you cut it up inside? And, like, on TV, I could see, like, there might have been room outside, but I don't know what else was out there. You're just seeing this little, I think that's a hard thing. I think it's hard for people to understand that you guys are literally, like, navigating through traffic that's worse than what you would see in rush hour here in the Metroplex.
When they say it's a game of inches, it's really a game of inches, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's always tough, because you look at it, it's a lot easier to press pause on film and be like, oh, dang, you should have just went that way. When it's like heat of the moment, it's just like, oh.
And I want to stay in that heat of the moment for a minute. Can you try to explain to people what you are looking at? You can feel the pressure around you. Are you looking at the people who you can see coming at you, or are you looking at the next level to see, when I make this move or this cut, that's where I'm going next?
Every run has its own reads, and every run's also different. But for the bases, I'll say in general, you start at the line. There's 4 or 5 defensive linemen. Try to get 1 or 2 double teams each play, and you just want to make sure that double team gets to the linebacker. And it takes patience and just staying on your track. And I don't know how to explain it without confusing you too much.
You're doing great. And that patience, I remember. Talk about the patience. How do you develop that as a runner?
Just repetition, practice, dedication. You just gotta, get as many reps as you can, and the more you do it right, the more consistent you'll get.
Kevin talks about watching you at Ohio State, and I'm wondering how long it took you at Ohio State to learn the patience you needed to get past collegiate tacklers.
College was a little bit different. College, you didn't have to be as patient. It was a different scheme, so I really didn't have to be as patient. So it was a little bit of I wouldn't say it was too much of a hurdle, but there was a hurdle at the beginning of my pro career. Those first couple of weeks is trying to figure it out. I didn't have much of a preseason, so really my first live reps were those first couple of weeks, and I struggled a little bit, but the third game we got it rolling.
Yeah, I think you got it rolling. But I do remember watching you in those first 2 games, thinking that you looked in a hurry, and then there was like a noticeable, okay, just take a deep breath, and I can do this. And it looked like it really almost tangibly changed right about week 3 of your rookie year.
Yeah, it just took me, getting those reps and just staying consistent and just keep working and I got it.
Now, as you said, you didn't have much work in that preseason. Played in 1 game, is that right? The one in Seattle that year? And increasingly, you'll probably play throughout your career less and less if it's possible in the preseason. I know Emmett, the last several years, never saw now it was in practice, obviously, but never saw the field in a preseason game. What do you get out of a preseason game, if anything?
Soreness.
You can say
Soreness.
You can say
Not
not
much,
much. You can say not much.
I mean, you get those game reps, but I mean, when you look at the risk reward, it's not any reward. A lot. I mean, not like a lot of risk, but you're going out there. Every time you step on the field, you're gonna put yourself in harm's way. But why go get banged up for a game that doesn't really count?
For a game that doesn't matter.
Just
There's
for
no
the
point in getting hurt in a
Instagram
game that
photos.
doesn't matter.
Absolutely hear you. All right, we thank you again, everyone, for being here tonight on the Cowboys Hour. And, the weather's changed. This is great out here. We're delighted to have such a big crowd to visit with Ezekiel Elliott. And we will have more questions for Zeke in just a moment.
Yes, and want to use what the pros use? Jack Black is the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys. Get your Jack Black starter for JB Faves plus a full-size lip balm for just $10 with free shipping at getjackblack.com. Use code TEAMJB. And Albertsons, thank you. When it comes time to shop for tailgate favorites, go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Get 10% off your groceries every Dallas Cowboys game day when you wear your Cowboys or Ezekiel Elliott jersey. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys.
We'll be right back on the Cowboys Hour.
Back. To the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertson and broadcasting live from the Omni Frisco at the Star.
Prescott in the gun, trips to the left, inside handoff, Elliott plowing, goal line, touchdown! There you go, Zeke. There's a high five and a helmet slap and a chest bump and a touchdown, all for you. All because he did that. Ezekiel Elliott, our guest tonight on the Cowboys Hour. I'm Brad Sham with Kevin Turner and Taylor Stern, and a cast of many who are out here to see Zeke. Is there a rush in football better than a touchdown? If you stone a blitzing linebacker, is that as good as a touchdown?
I think it just depends where you are in the game, how big the moment is. Yeah.
Like last night on the pass interference, you got fired up.
Yeah.
And you got a big first down. Like you're pumped because it was
Right, big
crunch time.
moment.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be a touchdown, or it could be a block. Just anything that has anything to do with a big play and a big important moment.
Now, obviously, spontaneity is a big part of what you do. You have to react to what you see and just let your instincts take over. We talked about hurdling. A couple years ago when you went in the kettle for the first time on Thanksgiving, did you think about that in advance, or did you just say, oh, I'm going in the kettle?
Oh, when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm going in there.
Yeah, I'm a hurdle the kettle.
So when you saw it then, or when you saw it in?
When I saw it in pregame.
Pregame
I was
warm-up.
Oh, in pregame.
I'm going in there.
But you didn't measure it or anything. Like you were. Yeah.
I checked on it, see how sturdy it was, and I didn't check too diligently.
Were both of your parents really outstanding track athletes?
Now, my dad played football, my mom ran track.
Your mom ran track.
And now his sister is a boss at Ohio State, too.
Yes?
Yes.
What are her events?
She runs at Pathline.
Ooh, that's serious stuff.
So all of the events.
Yeah, all of the events. And did you run track in high school?
Yeah. I ran hurdles.
Who's more competitive
Of course
in
you
the
did.
family that is so athletic like yours? Like, who's the most competitive? Is it still you?
Maybe my baby sister.
Your baby sister, you guys call her Flea?
Yeah, Flea.
Yeah. I mean, they're all athletes. They're all pretty incredible. But I think one of the best things about Ezekiel Elliott that doesn't get talked about enough is how your leadership has evolved on this team. Obviously, coming into your fourth year. But how would you evaluate the fact of you becoming a leader of this team?
I think it started, just my leadership role started to grow, going into my second year and a lot of my third year. But I mean, just a guy that, will hold the rest of the guys accountable. A guy that's going to lead by, can't think of what I'm trying to say.
Example?
Yeah, lead by example.
Well, I thought it was a lot of you, and you guys probably saw this, when him and Tony did their post-game press conference together. They were being asked questions together. And a lot of people could say, oh, it's hard because now you have to pass the ball off. But I think you guys handled it like he sees you as a mentor. How do you see your relationship with Tony now that he's in the running back room?
We're brothers. Every day when we go to work, it's my job to help him become a better player, and it's his job to push me to become a better player. And it's a two-way street, and we've grown close over the past couple of months, and he's a phenomenal player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him develop as a player down the road.
Have you seen any footage of your parents competing when they were in college? Have you seen any of that, or have you ever wanted to see that, or thought about?
No, I don't think we even have cassette,
Yeah, right.
What are they called?
VHS.
VHS anymore?
Yeah, you're right. It's not a thing anymore.
Where can you find a VHS now? I haven't had a VHS probably since third grade.
It's been a long time.
For bye week, are you going to that Wisconsin-Ohio State game?
Thinking about it. I'll probably just end up staying here, just relaxing and.
Yeah.
Just watch it on TV.
Yeah.
You still follow the Buckeyes real closely, though, don't you? Fairly closely?
Yeah, I watch them whenever I get a chance.
Did you face pressure to go to Missouri at the time, or was it just kind of you had a whole lot of options?
I wish you wouldn't bring that up. Zeke and I have talked about that before. I really wish you
It
wouldn't bring
hurts.
that
It
up.
hurts Brad deep in his soul.
Yeah, I face a little bit of pressure to go to Missouri, but
Was your dad trying to get you to go to Missouri?
My dad wanted me to go to Missouri.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you about your tattoos. You know that they're awesome. He has lots of them. And I think there's one on your leg, and people have confused it. Is it Zeke as a Nightwalker, or is it just that you liked that photo?
I like the art that one of my friends did, and I think you could say it's a little White Walker-ish, but I don't think it was. Yeah. No, that wasn't really the idea.
It was a Game of Thrones.
Yes.
People thought that he turned himself into that Game of Thrones White Walker.
Nah.
He does have a 100 emoji symbol. I think that's one of my favorite ones. But my all-time favorite Zeke tattoo is the wolf. He has a wolf howling at the moon. Because you had a wolf as a pet.
I don't want to get into that.
Did you watch Game of Thrones, though? You like Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Is that where that came from?
No.
Just like the artwork.
I think you're just looking a little too into the tattoos.
I'm just looking a little too deep
I think
into
we're
these
looking
tattoos.
a little too deep into tattoos.
I feel like they normally are, so just, trying to understand these tattoos a
I
little
think
bit
you're just
better.
kind of making up your own stuff. You're just like looking at my tattoos and guessing, like, okay.
This is what it
Just-
means
this
in
is-
my
If
mind.
it makes you feel any better, I have never once looked at any of your tattoos, nor do I care, frankly.
I just love
Your tattoos are yours.
And honestly, Zeke makes a great point is the fact that everything that Ezekiel Elliott does, people read into. Like, he could be eating, whatever food, and that means something. And that's just the power of Ezekiel Elliott.
Well, that is something that I wanted to get into because you can look around. We've got dozens and dozens of really nice people, great Cowboy fans, Ezekiel Elliott fans who are out here tonight. And as soon as you came out the door and sat down, all the cameras were up. And they did not want to miss a single step that you took.
Yeah.
And
How about we have the crowd do a round of applause for themselves for, showing up today?
how about that's what I was going for early. I'm all for that.
Thank you guys for coming out tonight.
I'm all for that. You get this everywhere you go. You can't. You're somewhat recognizable. So I think people might be interested to know what it's like from the inside. What's it like to be Ezekiel Elliott?
What do you mean?
Like, what I'm saying is, like, you can't just
I
get
don't think I'm
a
trying to get that deep right now.
I mean, I don't know. None of us will ever know what all this is like. Do you enjoy it? Do you ever wish you could pull a stocking cap on and just go out and not be noticed?
I think it's both. There's highs and there's lows. But you gotta love it. Coach Meyer put it the best way. Coach Meyer, my college coach, he said, "Be someone else shining light." And just basically what that meant was, us being Ohio State football players. A lot of people looked up to us. We brought joy to a lot of people, and just any day it could be something you never think about, but just stopping and shaking one person's hand or taking a picture with one person, or giving them an autograph. You don't know how that can affect their life. You don't know how that can affect their day, and you don't know how that could positively affect them. So be someone else's shining light.
And you seem to take that to heart when we see pictures of you out, and especially with kids. It seems like you really have a natural relation to kids who approach you.
Yeah, I mean, they look up to me, and that's definitely special. But I gotta show love back to you guys. You guys are a big part of what we do. I mean, when we go on the road, I mean, even yesterday, you got a lot of Cowboys fans in the stands, and it makes it a lot easier for us.
Did that surprise you, by the way? I was surprised by how many Cowboy fans were in New Jersey yesterday.
I'm kind of done getting surprised by the Cowboys fans. I mean, it just seems like every time you think they're always there, they're always around, and I mean, they do great on those away games. I think it's definitely tough for those teams we play at their place when they're like, dang, we got a lot of Cowboys fans in the stands.
Yeah, what point did you feel like, man, I've made it? Like, was it when LeBron James was coming to your college games and cheering you guys on at Ohio State? Or when did you feel like, I might be famous?
Probably be like around the time we were making a run for the national championship, so probably like that Sugar Bowl time, like around Sugar Bowl, around when we played here for the national championship, and
Yeah.
things
Got the
just
crop top.
got kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was an insane team. That was such a good team. Like, it's the run you guys went on, and you were incredible, so fun to watch. And I was going at the time, the Cowboys were losing. Well, I guess that was your sophomore year, actually, though, right?
Yeah.
So then the junior year, okay, that says your sophomore year. So the Cowboys weren't losing at the time when they took him at the 4th pick. Never mind. I'm sorry. I take that back. I was
The
trying to time
crop
it up
top,
there.
though, was so hot then. I mean, men, for the first time I'd ever seen, were rocking the crop
There's a lot
top.
of people wearing the crop top who shouldn't, though, like myself.
Were you rocking it?
Yeah,
I
oh yeah.
missed it.
My belly was flapping out there.
Where did that even come from?
Thank you for not doing that anymore.
Beautiful imagery, right, Brad?
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. All right, if you have questions for Zeke, get them ready. Steven's got the microphone. He's coming out in the audience next when we come back from this break. Big round of applause, as Zeke said, for all of you for coming out tonight. And a big round of applause for Ezekiel Elliott for being with us. This is the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons, brought to you in part by Omni. Next time you travel for an away game, here's how to make the most of it. Stay with Omni Hotels and Resorts. They have 60 premier locations coast to coast with things like world-class spas, championship golf, and great dining. Visit OmniHotels.com to learn more. Omni Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Lucchese Bootmaker, now open at the Star in Frisco. They're right across the street. They're literally right there. Shop from a variety of world-class handmade cowboy boots, as well as all new signature apparel and accessories. Visit their brand new store today and experience the tradition that is
Lucchese Bootmaker.
Back with Zeke right after this on the Cowboys Hour.
Back to the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and broadcasting live from the Omni Frisco at the Star.
That's right, and it's brought to you by Papa John's. When the Cowboys win, get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com with the promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, not valid with any other discounts, prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. It's also brought to you by Albertsons. When it comes time to shop your tailgate favorites, go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Get 10% off your groceries every Dallas Cowboys game day when you wear your Cowboys or Ezekiel Elliott jersey. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's Kevin Turner with Taylor Stern. I'm Brad Sham. It's the Cowboys Hour, and Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott is our guest. When you were a kid, did you have any favorite players whose jersey you might want to wear?
My favorite player growing up was Marshall Faulk.
Okay, so the St. Louis Rams.
And now you see him all the time.
Yeah.
Do you work out with him or hang out with him in the off season?
Yeah, I see him a good amount in the off season, and we get to spend some good time together.
Were you a Rams fan growing up?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they took the team away from him, unfortunately, but
They did. They did. You're a different style player than him. Did you ever, when you were little, did you think, I want to be him? When you knew you were going to be an athlete, did you think, I want to be Marshall Faulk?
I can't really think of a specific time pop like, I want to be that guy. It was like more during that time in my life. I think I was more like into like WWE and like wrestling and like The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Can see
I wish
that.
The Rock would come
And
to the Cowboys
do you know him? Have you met Dwayne Johnson?
I haven't.
I'm actually somewhat surprised by that.
I am
don't
too.
know why. I would have thought. I guarantee you.
We gotta set that up.
A little more winning,
will.
and guys like that come around. You won't be able to get away from guys like that. Okay, Stephen, I know we got some questions in this great audience for Zeke.
We do a great audience tonight. We got Rambo kicking it off tonight.
all right.
Hello. Zeke, I have a quick question. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Is there a favorite team or defender that you really enjoy playing against?
No, I don't think so. I think division games are very fun. Division games at night when they're home are very fun. Cowboys fans always bring their great energy to AT&T Stadium. So I would probably say maybe division games, but no specific team, no specific player.
But so kind of like the one you're fixing to play,
Yeah.
Philadelphia Sunday night. Is the rivalry with Philly any more intense than the others, just because you both seem to be going head to head almost every year?
I wouldn't say it's any more than others. Yeah.
That's real quick. The Philly thing, though, going back to your rookie year, do you have like a favorite moment from your rookie year? Because there's two that stand out to me. One is that game against Philadelphia at home, and y'all had a big dance party in the end zone. And then the screen pass in Pittsburgh is my favorite, like, Ezekiel Elliott play of all time. Do you have any
times.
memories that jump out at you from your rookie year in 2016, or do the games just kind of all run together?
I would say probably like my favorite moment from that 2016 season was that Pittsburgh game. I think that was the defining moment for our team. And I mean, it was super fun down to the wire. I've never been a part of a game as crazy.
That was wild. That screen
With the
pass
back
was,
and forth and
oh yeah.
3 2-minute drives and
It kind of set a tone of like, that whole year really just set a tone. Here's this youth movement coming in with you and Dak and everything. And it was just incredible. It seemed like the team was having more fun than I've ever seen them have. And again, that's the Sunday night game against the Eagles is why I thought about that when he asked that question. Because that game, I believe, was an overtime game.
Yeah, overtime.
And there's the dance party in the end zone. I'll never forget that. And I'm watching the game from my couch, and I'm just like, all right. And I'm dancing, too. You guys were on the camera. It was so great.
Are you going to bring back the sleeves?
I tried last game, but it was too hot. I had to take them off at halftime.
So it's a temperature thing?
Yeah. It was just too hot. Obviously I sweat a lot during the game, but I was like sweating.
It was humid, though.
Significantly. Yes, it was
It was
very humid.
way humid.
Because it really wasn't that warm, but it was just like, it was humid, exactly.
Yeah, the air was really heavy. I noticed that all weekend. All right,
Luckily,
Stephen, what do
indoor
we got?
game
That was a
this
great
week.
question, KT. I had to leapfrog Jacob here because you had the same one.
Okay.
But now I'm going to Larry.
Zeke, I got something here for you to think further down the future. If you can imagine trying to set some kind of a NFL record similar to what Emmett did on the rushing. Do you have anything that you can look at?
You mean like being the all-time leading rusher? Is that, yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
I mean, obviously, if you're gonna play this game, I think you're doing a disservice to yourself, to the fans, to your team if you don't want to be the best to ever play the game. So, I mean, obviously that's a goal of mine. It's so far down the road. Just right now, I'm just really focused on, attacking it day by day, winning tomorrow, and, doing everything I can to help this team win this next game. And I think, as you focus on just winning the next day and winning the next game, all those extra things will handle themselves.
Great, thank you.
All right, I got young Xavier here with a very optimistic question.
So we're going to turn the season around and make a playoff run, right?
That's the plan. We got a lot of football left. We got a lot of football left. It's only, I guess we're only 7 weeks into football season, so we have 10 more games left. There's a lot of football left to be played, and we have a really good team, and we have a great group of guys, and I think that we'll be able to turn this thing around and get things going.
I got to ask you a question, Zeke. What's your biggest passion aside from football?
Probably say my family.
Very supportive.
Probably my family. Just
Your dogs?
Very close with my family. I mean, my dogs are my family. Dogs are people too.
Dogs are people too. Say it louder for the people in the back.
Definitely my family.
Yeah?
What did you always want to, like you mentioned you were into wrestling at an early age. Did you ever have, from early age, know that you wanted to be a football player or a track star? Or what did you as a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up, I guess?
Early I wanted to be a doctor.
Really?
All right.
What kind?
Dentist. I wanted to be a dentist, and
How long that last?
Till high school. And I was like,
Until they said, you're going to be a professional football player.
That's a lot of college.
Someone told you how long you had to go to school to be a dentist?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I've always loved football. Football was always my first love. But I just was a competitor. I love all sports. I played sports all year round. So fall would be football, and winter come I'd go right to basketball. And then when spring come around, I'd run track or play baseball and through the summer until football season again.
You grew up in one of the great baseball towns in America. What position did you play?
I was a shortstop, center fielder.
Good hitter?
Yeah, I could hit a little bit.
So Zeke's got game in the Dirk Nowitzki, the Heroes celebrity game. Zeke is a star every year. They usually put you at second base, I've noticed. They make you play a lot of second base.
Yeah, I've been playing second.
So they'll put Dirk at first base, and Dirk's not mobile, so Zeke will just kind of fly around and go catch the balls in Dirk's territory. He's got a lot of range, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, the good thing about Dirk being your first
Heroes
baseman.
League MVP last year.
That's
Ooh,
right.
Let him know.
Nah, Zeke's
Heroes
a good
game,
player.
not league, yeah.
He's a good baseball player.
It's hard to overthrow him, Dirk. It's hard to throw it. It's hard to throw it too high for him to catch.
I got one more question.
Sure.
What's your go-to Whataburger order?
Ooh.
Not a big Whataburger guy. I'd rather.
Ears are bleeding here in Texas.
Go ahead. What?
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Whatever you want. If you want fast food, where do you go?
Whataburger a sponsor of the of the radio show? Am I allowed to say?
No, people in Texas just really pride themselves on their love for Whataburger.
I'd go to McDonald's over Whataburger any day.
And what would you order?
McGangbang.
Oh my gosh. That is like a hybrid order.
Yes, I'm the mind reels.
It's on the
but yeah.
secret menu.
Okay.
Tell us what it is so we can order it next time.
So it's a double cheeseburger. You divide it in half, and you put a McChicken in the middle of it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, that's serious.
With all the bread. So it's like 2 buns and a heart attack.
Yeah, you got to be young and a cowboy to enjoy that.
You got to be running.
I
It's
know
more of
that,
an off-season meal.
Yeah, there you go. I know that after a difficult game, coming out and doing this is not the easiest thing in the world. Tomorrow's your day off. We very much appreciate your coming out. Thanks for doing it, Zeke. Everybody, thank Zeke.
Thanks for having me.
For being here.
Is it over already?
It's over already. We're looking
no.
forward to Sunday night against the Eagles. For Taylor Stern and Kevin Turner, I'm Brad Sham. We'll be back here next Monday night on the Cowboys Hour.
Oh.